Hello and welcome to Mentoring the Mentors, an institute that accelerates your learning curve. My dear educators, let's talk about a trait approach to the study of personality. In this video, we shall discuss the trait approach to the study of personality, though there are a number of approaches, so we shall be discussing each approach in a separate video. So, my dear educators, let's discuss the trait approach. The trait approach focuses on the specific psychological attributes along which individuals tend to differ in consistent and stable ways. Individuals, they are different from each other in consistent and stable ways. So there are theories, like basically we are talking about the trait theory. They are mainly concerned with the description or the characterization of the basic components of the personality. एक personality के जो basic components होते हैं, it is based on that. They try to discover the building blocks of personality. Like what are the blocks that are, when we talk about the cell is the basic unit of body, right? It's a basic unit of life. So likewise, in these approaches, they study the basic building blocks of personality. Human beings, they display a wide range of variations in psychological attributes. Yet, it is possible to club them into smaller number of personality traits. Means when we say all the fingers are not alike of a hand, we all are different, we all are unique, we have different abilities, capabilities, different personalities, different attributes, yet we are able to club the personalities of different human beings, different people into different groups. So we'll be talking about that in detail. So if we talk about the trait approach, it is very similar to our common experience in everyday life. It attempts to identify primary characteristics of people, like what all characteristics are there in the people. For example, when we come to know that a person is sociable, right? A person is sociable, and we assume that he will not be cooperative, friendly, and helping, but also engage in behaviors that involve in social components, right? So when we get to know a person is sociable, we assume different qualities of the person, like cooperative, friendly, helping, involving different social components. So likewise, we will be able to get to know about the various traits of a person based on his or her characteristics, right? So if I talk about the first approach that we're going to talk about, it's Allport's trait theory. Yes, it's Allport's trait theory. Gordon Allport is the pioneer of trait approach, and he proposed that individuals, they possess a number of traits which are dynamic in nature. They determine behavior in such a manner that an individual approaches to different situations with similar plans. The traits integrate stimuli and responses which otherwise look dissimilar, right? So what did he approach? Like they determine the behavior in such a manner that individual approaches to different situations with similar plans. And the traits integrate stimuli and responses. Allport argued that the words people use to describe themselves and others provide a basis for understanding of human personality. He analyzed the words of English language to look for traits which describe a person. Allport categorized traits into cardinal, central, and secondary. We'll be talking about the same in detail. Like what's this cardinal, central, and secondary? So these are explained as follows. Cardinal traits, these are highly generalized in nature. Highly generalized. They indicate the goal which a person's entire life seems to be. For example, Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence, Hitler's Nazism are examples of cardinal traits. I mean, they are the generalized, they are the one traits that exhibit a human being's, a person's entire personality. Such traits are the dominant traits, and such traits often get associated with the name of the person so strongly that they derive such identities as Gandhian or maybe Hitlerian trait, right? सो उसके इंडिविजुअल के नाम से ही उस ट्रेट का नाम पड़ जाता है. नॉन वायलेंस है तो अगर कोई नॉन वायलेंस एग्जिबिट करता है, देन वी स्टार्ट सेइंग दैट ही इज हैविंग गांधीयन ट्रेट. Somebody who is behaving like a Hitler, we start saying he is having Hitlerian trait, right? So in traits को हम बोलते हैं cardinal traits. These traits are known as cardinal traits. Now, coming next, central traits. These are less broad in effect, but still quite generalized in nature. These traits, for example, warm, sincere, diligent, they are often used in writing a testimonial or job recommendation for a person, right? Central trait. What is your central trait? You are a sincere person, you are a diligent person, you are a warm natured person, right? So another, if we talk about the third one is secondary traits. These are at least the least generalized traits of a person. Traits such as like mangoes, I like mangoes, I prefer ethnic clothes, or like they are the example of secondary traits. I mean, they don't matter. Like, for example, if I say I like this kind of clothes, I like this kinds of watches to be worn, like I like Indian dresses, I like saris, or I like trousers and shirt, Western formal, whatever. So they are the secondary traits. So Allport thinks that the way a person reacts to the given situation depends on his traits. All the people sharing the same traits might express in different way. So any variation in the trait, same situation may result a different response to the same situation, right? Because it may be possible like people they are having similar kind of traits, like I feel that I am a diligent person and someone else is also a diligent and a sincere person maybe. So we may behave differently in different situations, right? So this is all about this Allport's trait. So dear, now let's talk about Cattell's trait, right? Cattell's trait theory. Raymond Cattell believed that there is a common structure on which people differ from each other. This structure could be determined practically. He applied a statistical technique called factor analysis to discover the common structures. He found 16 primary or source traits. The source traits are stable and are considered as building blocks of the personality. So, as per Raymond, there are 16 primary or the source traits that are stable and they are considered as the building blocks of one's personality. And Cattell described the source traits in terms of opposing tendencies. He developed a test called 16 Personality Factor Questionnaire, that is 16PF, right? For the assessment of the personality. Why 16? Because he found 16 primary or the source traits. And this test is widely used by psychologists. Besides these, there are also a number of surface traits that result out of the interaction of the source traits, right? So this was all about Cattell's trait theory given by Raymond Cattell, right? So now let's talk about another theory, which is Asenek's theory. Yes, Asenek's theory, H.J. Asenek proposed that personality could be reduced into two broad dimensions. These are biologically and genetically based. Each dimension classifies a number of specific traits, and these traits are, first of all, neuroticism or emotional stability. It refers to the degree to which people have control over their feelings, like to what extent we can, to what degree we can have a control over our feeling. At one extreme of the dimensions, we find people who are neurotic, they are anxious, they are moody, touchy, restless, and quickly they lose their control on very trivial matters. So at the other extreme, that is, the people who are calm, even tempered, reliable, they remain under control. So, this is called emotional stability. To what extent, to what degree we can control our emotions and we can have control our feelings. Now, extroversion or introversion, we are talking about extroversion versus introversion. It refers to the degree into which people they are socially outgoing and they are socially withdrawn. Extrovert people, they are very active, friendly, impulsive, thrill seeking. On the other hand, the introvert people, they are those who are passive, quiet, cautious, and reserved, right? And if we talk about the another trait of the personality is psychotism and sociability. It is considered to interact with the other two dimensions, like that is neuroticism versus emotional stability and extroversion versus introversion. A person who scores high on psychoticism dimension tends to be hostile, egocentric, and antisocial, right? So these are the different traits that we are discussing. So, my dear educators, till now we have talked about, if we quickly revise, we have talked about the different approaches as we have talked about Isnick's theory, we discussed Cattell's trait theory, we talked about Allport's theory. So these theories we discussed under the trait approach. So stay tuned to Mentoring the Mentors, like, subscribe, and share, and we will be talking about more such theories in detail. Thank you. Stay blessed. Stay tuned.